Welcome to Amateur Decorating Like a Pro. I am Catherine.
Yes, looking at all of the projects that I saw on Pinterest using old cabinets really inspired me to take advantage of this old antique chapeau. Yes, chapeau, wardrobe, or cabinet, whatever you would like to call it. It certainly is a meaningful piece to me. It belonged to my grandmother. So let's evaluate the cabinet. I just love the philosophy of the writers, the junk gypsies. They have a really good philosophy for selecting thrifted furniture. So, hand in hand with them, I stand, guys. If the piece is sturdy and if the hardware is dated but can be replaced, you should buy it. Now, this piece was thrifted and it was gifted. It is from my grandmother and I absolutely love it. So guys, it's a little tall for this area, but I have a solution for that. I'm going to shorten the piece, yes, but I'm also going to add small casters so I can move it around and clean behind it from time to time. So as you can see, the back of the unit has some water damage. So we are definitely going to replace that back panel. And also, guys, you want to make sure that there isn't any further damage on the inside of the unit. What's usually happening on the outside is on the inside as well. Now, the legs look like they're in pretty good condition. I see here that there is a hanging bar, and I have just some memories of my grandmother's use of this thing with clothes hanging inside of it. But I was a small child, so I do remember some things. As you can see, the water damage on the inside from the bottom there, you can see how it buckles a little bit, and that piece is definitely going to disintegrate practically, but I'm going to take care of that piece as well. The walls, the one on the sides, yeah, they are in pretty good condition. I'm just going to add additional plywood in front of them because I think that's all it needs. I wouldn't try and replace those all together, but because they are pretty sound, so I am going to replace the sides. The drawers are in great condition. They just struggle a little bit with sliding in and out, and what I'm going to do is add a little candle wax to that track on the inside of the drawers or on the bottom of them, and the drawers will slide a whole lot easier. So I look forward to doing that. It's just adding candle wax. That's all you do. The hardware, like I said, if it can be salvaged, go ahead and do that. So I label everything, even though it's identical. I just label it anyway, and then I'm actually spray painting these hinges, so no worries there. So let's get started. Upon inspection, I found lots of nails. No, they did not use an air gun stapler of any kind. This is all handmade. So, for the nails that were in the very center of the back panel, I drilled around it, and that way the wood would easily break away when I pulled the panel off. After that, I headed to Lowe's to make sure that the new plywood that I purchased was pretty close to the same width. This top piece is actually made of two boards put together seamlessly, guys. You can barely see it, but I see it. So I'm able to just mark it with a Sharpie so I can cut along this line. I'm just using the board to make sure I got a straight line there. But yeah, it creates a shadow along this wall, and I didn't like that, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it away. Plus, I wanted a more modern look to the piece anyway. All right, now I am truly a girly girl, and this project was indeed therapy. The hammer, the saw, the drill. Yeah, I really did get my therapy on doing this project. Now I noticed there was a caster wheel insert in the legs, so I decided to take a precaution and use a hand saw instead of the electric saw, because that way, if there was a metal brace or something inside that leg, I would not damage my blade. Now, I considered keeping these rounded corners and attaching the new trim around the top. But the more I looked at it, I thought, that's only just going to get in my way. So I'm removing these corners and I'm going to place the new trim completely around it. That portion of the front lip that was sticking up out of the top that I left, I'm going to be able to attach the new trim to that. So that's why I didn't cut it evenly along the top, just so you'll know. Now, I try to be really careful about nails and stuff getting on the floor in the garage. So just having this little coffee container close by, just recycling it. When I hear the sound of it hitting the bucket, I know it's inside and not on the floor. Like when I'm cooking, I clean as I go. So when I'm working on these projects, I clean as I go. I was so happy to see this kind of construction. I can just add nails to secure the whole frame. I get this question a lot about learning to use tools. I didn't use a drill for the first time until 2014. And listen, guys, what I did was purchase inexpensive ones. So like I would go to Lowe's and I got the Black & Decker stapler and drill and things like that. So now that I'm more confident about using air compressors, then I can upgrade to the nicer ones. But that's what you do. You start with the basic ones and gain your confidence and then upgrade. So shop around for your best possible bargains and then get the experience and then trade up. Share the gift, pass it on to somebody else who wants to start out, and then you upgrade. Before I close out the day, I like to go ahead and stage where I'm going to begin the next morning. You know, it's hot out here, so you got to get out there pretty early. So guys, I went ahead, used my clamps, attached these templates to it. These are the old boards. I'm going to trace around those and then make the cut with the saw. And also I lay out my tools and the supplies. I do need to get back to Lowe's. I was a few inches short on one of those boards for the shelves, and that'll be a quick run. They open pretty early. So yeah, get in and get out and get it done. Using original pieces as your templates will always save you time and money. To ensure there isn't a gap, I like to smooth out the construction glue, and I just use a disposable spoon to do that. And I also am going to be using a wood filler to fill in all of those cracks so it will be smooth on the inside when I paint it. Now that template was a huge help when it came to cutting the new piece for the bottom. I had a different plan in mind and I attached one of the boards, but then I removed it. But that template was perfection. You know what? This project has given me the confidence to also tackle our pantry. So we were going to hire someone to do that. I think I can do it. I'm just going to put it on my list of many projects that I want to get done. Sorry, there's no footage of me cutting the trim, but hey, once I got going, guys, I just could not stop to angle the camera. It's been raining for a couple of days and the garage is really damp, so we just went ahead and moved the unit upstairs into this space, and I'm working in tight quarters, guys, but we're getting it done. I'm recycling several pieces of furniture. The bookcase was once downstairs in a family room. That's been painted as well. I did all of the painting at the same time. Yeah, you see that glow from the top of the cabinet onto the ceiling, that amber glow? You can correct that by painting your cabinets white. Some inexpensive paint. Doesn't have to be expensive at all. Match your drill bit to the size of your screw for your new hardware. Sometimes you may have to go down one size just to see if there's going to be a good fit, because you want that screw to be snug inside that hole, not loose, so the handle will jiggle. Now, I wanted the door to close properly, so I switched out the original hardware for a flat head long screw. That way the door would close properly into the latch. I am using a Kiehl's chalk paint white. You can find it at Walmart, and you can also find it online at Amazon. I had to use both sources to complete my projects. Now, the top coat is not a wax. I'm using the interior paint by Volspar, the same paint that I use to paint my walls. This Volspar white paint is a semi-gloss, and it also matches the color of the cubes. So you're using your paint rollers. When you're using your paint rollers for putting on your waxes or your glazes, you can just put them in a Ziploc bag if you haven't finished the project. So the next day, unzip your Ziploc bag, the moisture's still there, and carry on. I want you guys to see how to attach these wheels. You want to use a comparable drill bit to the actual size of the anchor, and then you insert the anchor. I call it an anchor anyway. You insert it into your hole and then gently tap it into the hole with a small hammer. You don't want to do anything too forceful. You want those teeth to really bite into the wood. And after you've done that, that's when you insert the wheel. First thing first, the cabinet drawers are not fully closed because the paint is only a couple of days old and it has not cured. So I want to make sure that the drawers don't seal. So I'm going to leave them slightly open for about a week, if not longer, and that way the paint is fully cured and they'll slide in and out. I also applied wax from candles to that rod inside the drawer so they slide in and out a little bit smoother, and over time I'll add a little bit more and then they'll just slide with ease. Candle wax really does work. The hardware on the drawers and the short cabinet door came from Amazon, 5 to a pack, and that's perfect. I was able to match that large handle from Hobby Lobby. I almost forgot. I got it from Hobby Lobby and it was only $4.50. The magazines inside of the cabinet are not there permanently. This is to give you guys a sense of the space. These are boxes that measure 13 by 13. 4 of the collapsible totes came in each of these boxes. So there's plenty of space here. So if I wanted to store jewelry or even my office binders, my business binders, my tax records, right here I could. So this is a very large space. So again, looking back at those collapsible totes and looking over here, you can see how big this cabinet space is going to be for really anything that you wanted to use it for. Now I'm going to go ahead and share with you what I placed inside of the drawers. I wanted all of my sewing supplies to be in these drawers. So instead of having my thread separated on one of those stands or on a wall, I decided to just use these little containers that I got from Publix for $1.99 each and separate my threads out, and there's 2 drawers, I think, no, 3 drawers of threads. So that's perfect. I mean, easy for me to just open a drawer and grab a spool and start sewing. I ordered this beautiful marble gray and white paper to use inside the cabinet as liners, as well as for the drawers, but I just didn't like it. It was something about it, so for now, there's nothing there. I searched my entire house and I was able to locate nearly 24 of those shoe containers. Guys, if you wanted to make something like this a shoe cabinet or an accessory cabinet, that would be amazing for a closet or even a hallway if you wanted to do it as a linen closet. And I fell in love with this. I thought, you know what? There's so many possibilities. I should have done something like this sooner. I have future DIYs prepped here, and I also started sorting out some upholstery supplies in one of the sections. In the bottom section, I have my audio equipment, my cameras, some old cameras that I don't want to get rid of, as just got to have them as backups. You just never know. So this just really is a lot of storage, especially using these simple containers. I can label them. I have a label maker. So all of this comes in handy. I'm just so impressed with this, not because I did it, but simply because of the space that you can have using these cabinets. So thank you, Pinterest, for inspiring me. When I installed the door, I used larger screws. So it is back in alignment, but if you'll notice, there's a gap along the middle part of the door. Not the top, not the bottom, just the middle. It's been out of alignment for so long, so there's nothing I can do about that. I was hoping that this would be at least a 10-minute video, but it went on to 15 minutes, and here we are. I wanted to be thorough, so if you have any questions, please send those to me. If you are not a subscriber, I hope you'll consider doing so today and press the notification bell twice, guys. Now, I did want to give you a preview of the rest of the things that I've done in the office, but I don't want this video to be long. I am working on some vignettes. There are some thrift finds that I've located, and I'm going to paint them. So what you see is not always going to be the color, other than what you see that's already white. So thanks a lot for watching, and as always, stay in prayer and stay creative.